I think from the beginning, we knew that we wanted to adopt. Adoption has always been something on both of our hearts, even going into marriage. We knew that.
Our oldest is ours biologically, Cannon, but we struggle with infertility and miscarriages. There's actually a family at the church who didn't have any children, and then they showed up at church one Sunday with 4. And we were like, what happened to you guys? And that's when they kind of told us about foster care.
I feel like the Lord did put it on my heart to do foster care, but I kept putting it off. Any excuse basically that I could give, I was giving that as to not take the next step and be obedient in what the Lord was calling us to do. And I vividly remember having a conversation with JC because I thought, I'm just going to bring this up to him because he's going to say no, and then we can just move on. And I was like, what do you think about foster care? And he was like, yes, let's do it. And I was like, no, it's supposed to be a no. Just because of my own insecurities and fears and bringing a child into your home and having to give them back, and just all the unknowns that go with that were a huge question mark for us and for me. I mean, once the child is in your home for a day, 2 days, it's almost like they just fit into your family rhythm. They want love, they want care, just their basic needs of being a child and a human being. That's really all that they need.
Bryson was our 4th child in our home through foster care, but he really struggled early on. He really needed a family. Like, he needed care in a way that our other foster children did not. It was a very unique need that he had.
We were praying to adopt, but at the same time, that foster care, ultimately, the plan is for them to reconcile with the family.
We're praying to add him to our team. Like, that's what we're asking God for. You're hoping, that happens, but that it's out of your hands. And so as a part of the transition plan, it was like a temporary visit for him to go back.
So after that visit with Mom over the weekend, she just came to us and she said, he missed you guys so much, and he's so attached to you that I want to give him up for adoption. So really, she was the catalyst in him being with us permanently, and her just taking that step and saying, I want you to adopt him because I know that you have been with him this long and you can provide better care for him than I can. It was a huge act of selflessness that we were praying for, but when she finally took that step, the Lord, it's like he was just shining his face on us because we had been praying also for her. We don't want her to live the lifestyle that she was living. We wanted her to get healthy and to get back on her feet. So praying that for Mom, but also at the same time praying for what was best for Bryson, and just seeing the Lord answer both of those prayers.
It's just a very cool atmosphere in the courtroom those days where adoption is happening and a name is being changed and somebody's being added to a family permanently. It's a big deal.
He had been a part of our family to us from the beginning, but making it official and knowing that he will be a forever member of our family was just a huge relief. And we could just celebrate in a way that I feel like we probably had never celebrated before. And we did. We threw a huge party, and it was just, it was amazing just to see the frustration and the tears and all the things that we went through over the course of 3 years with him being in our home as a foster child, and just seeing God answer prayer after prayer come to fruition was just so amazing.
The more he spends time with our family, it's not just rhythms and behaviors and those types of things, but even attitudes and mindsets. He's a part of our family. He loves basketball because we love basketball. He likes the type of food that we like because that's what we eat. And so you just see him kind of morphing into a member of our family in a way that maybe is not natural, but what we would say is supernatural. He doesn't feel like an odd piece. He feels like he's exactly where he's supposed to be. Adoption's different, like it's a different perspective on God's love. God crafts each one of us uniquely, and Cannon, God custom fit him for our home. Yes, he chooses Cannon and how he's created, but he chose Bryson for us in a different way. for Bryson, I hope, our prayer is that as he's got to navigate his story, my hope is that he sees a family chose to love him, of an overflow of God's love. He was chosen by us, like we opted into him. That's the picture I have of God's love, is when the scriptures talk about us being adopted into God's family, like he chose to do that.